All right. So Tribes 2. Tribes 2 is very hard to play today. Possibly impossible, as I talked about in the panel yesterday. But what was unique about Tribes 2 is that this was the first-person shooter. Tribes 1 had this to a degree. The Tribes is after it, they had issues. But Tribes 2 was this weird map where you'd have big maps, you'd have like 20 or 30 people on each team playing a first-person shooter. And on one hand, it had really good weapons for serious competitive play. Like, you had to be good at first-person shooters, and sometimes players would sort of get off into the corner of a map, basically having a duel to the death, and then the winner goes on to do whatever else they're going to do in the map. But you also had a base. You were building turrets and defending the base. You were trying to play capture the flag. And in your base, inside the base, down corridors and like in a basement was the flag. So you'd have people in your base like trying to defend this flag. You'd have people outside building turrets and structures and manning guns and trying to defend it. You could build fighter jets and bombers and send like armies against the other base. And this was all a real-time game that ended in about a half hour. The scale of this game was noteworthy. And when it came out, it kind of took the entire world by storm. This was in the 2000s. Pretty much, like, people could not get copies of this game. It was sold out everywhere. It became one of the most popular PC games ever at that time. And then bit by bit, the servers stopped working and the game basically disappeared within a couple years. Not because no one wanted to play it, because the game didn't work anymore. I don't know if you can play this one, but it's worth learning the story of this game because it did something else that predates a lot of systems we know today. You might know Steam or Valve Steam. You know what that was originally made for? You know what Steam was? It was a application you would download for the sole purpose of applying patches to Counter-Strike. That's the only reason we got it, so we could patch Counter-Strike. That's what it was for. All that other stuff came later. But in that same era, Tribes 2 had email inside of it. You could email other players within the game. It had message boards inside of it. It supported teams and clans and competitive play. It did all the stuff that modern FPSs have done and the things that the modern internet is doing entirely confined within this game. And it kind of worked. Because you have to understand, when this game was out, I was in college. Do you know how I accessed my email when this game was popular? I would use something that's not in Windows anymore called Telnet. I would telnet to the IP address of the Unix cluster that my university ran, and I would access my email using applications like Pine or Elm. That is the world that this game existed in. This was ahead of its time in so many different ways.